Good morning. Welcome back to Diploma in Operations Management, Supply Chain Management class. Yes. In today's class, we are going to deal with the supply chain strategies. The fourth block, supply chain strategies. What are supply chain strategies, and how to deal with this? What are the why this is included in your curriculum? Yes. The one who wants to be into the operational management, it's important for them to understand there are various strategies at various levels that are required to be applied or implemented for the responsiveness and effective, efficient performance of the supply chain operations. Right. So let us understand what is supply chain strategy and what are the topics given under this. Under this block, under the supply chain strategy, the one unit is about strategic issues in supply chain, like uh, what are the various issues that are involved in the supply chain, how these supply chain strategies are design, the network design, and what are the decisions being taken, how it is planned, what is integration, and what is the role of technology, and what are risks involved, and how the risk management strategies are implemented, and what is sustainability in supply chain. All that we will learn under the first unit of the supply chain strategies. The next unit is relating to supply chain customer service. Supply chain customer service. What is the supply chain customer service? Usually, it's a customer service is not simply the customer focus. It in supply chain, efficiency of bringing the cost and the cost advantage, but customer focus brings the services. Okay, see what is supply chain customer service. Generally, in supply chain is not not only efficiency of bringing the cost uh, benefit, means reducing the cost of the operations. It is also to see and focus on the customer, which leads to the survival of the firm. Right. So under this customer, what do you call customer service, we will learn about what are the various services and how the customer chain is involved. Okay, supply chain management strategies are involved. Okay, and also how to design and how the various strategies are implemented in the supply chain management with relation to the customer service. We will learn. The next one is benchmarking. What is benchmarking? The next third unit in this block is benchmarking of supply chain management. So benchmarking of supply chain, what is meant by supply chain benchmarking? Benchmarking is not simply copying one standards and following that. It is beyond that. It is learning and adopting. Okay, so under this topic of benchmarking, we will learn about measurement of the quality of organizational policies and program strategies, and also measuring the performance of the company with concern to the quality, value, and time using these benchmarks. So, benchmark formulates a tangible measure of the efficiency of main process in the supply chain and also serves as to create solid foundation for the organizational performance. So we will learn about this. The next and the last topic in the fourth block, supply chain strategies, is about supply chain restructuring. So what is supply chain restructuring? Supply chain restructuring is that which involves the restructuring of the supply chain, means after analysis and measuring the performance using the benchmarks, whatever the requirements pitfalls are there, those requirements has to be, those pitfalls has to be corrected. So this involves restructuring of the supply chain according to the updated technologies or the requirements of the market or the customer needs. Okay, and with order to reduce the cost as well as the meeting the customer expectations. So these four units we are going to learn today under the block 4 supply chain strategies. Let's moving on to our first unit under this supply chain strategic issues in supply chain. Yes. Under these strategic issues in supply chain, we have what are the we will learn about what are the various strategic issues in supply chain, which is the key topic of this unit. So you will get it in, you can expect it in the long answers and short answers. And after that, what are the different partnerships, various partnerships, strategic partnerships and alliances in the supply chain. We will have the topic. So advantages through the collaboration and supply chain strategies and integration. What is the supply chain integration? And then finally the issues in supply chain strategies. Let's moving on to the strategic issues in supply chain. That involves various see, supply chain is configuration of all these, like customer, retailers, distribution, manufacturing units, right? Different suppliers of materials, right? So it's a configuration of all these. So strategic supply chain management may involve with various issues with relation to these all what are involved in this, like inventory strategy. In the previous topics, we learned what are the different levels inventory management is required. How efficiently you manage that, that tells leads to your responsiveness. And apart from that, various participants in the supply chain management, uh, the impact will be there on your inventory management, like not availability of the raw materials or the supplier non-cooperation or excess of materials or low cost of material, low availability of materials. Everything shows impact on your inventory strategy. So how a firm handles this inventory management strategically is what important. The next, manufacturing management, and similarly everything, packaging strategy, distribution strategy, logistics strategy, okay, customer service strategy, communication strategy, information strategy, social strategy, everything we learned various strategies in our previous class. So anything missing in this will lead to failure of the supply chain operations, failure of the organization. So it is important in order to avoid such situations, organizations will involve into the strategic partnerships, means entering into the various strategic partnerships, win-win basis. Okay, when your partnerships or collaborations are on a win-win basis, it helps the organization. It's not only the organization's success, but also the partners, with whoever you have the partnership, they also will get success, and it's a mutual benefit. That's how the supply chain operations are made effective and efficient. Okay, so strategic partnerships, like various, what is strategic partnership? Here, two or more owners of a business agree to share profits and are liable for any debts or losses are known as partnership. Okay, so same thing, whatever we learned in the accounts. Okay, so this partnership agreements outline how the profits and losses are to be allocated. Okay, understood? So this is the important line you are supposed to write under this. Mm, so first one, what is partnership and what is strategic partnership, what it involves. So partnership agreement outlines how profits and losses to be allocated. It is not only the agreement to share profits and liabilities collectively, but in what ratio, in what, how the profits to be distributed among the partners. That also they will outline in their agreement. Okay, and when this agreement will turned off, that means agreement may terminated. Okay, either the death or withdrawal of a member. Okay, or may include other agreements such as situations, or once the project is completed, the partnership, the period for which they joined, that is completed, that a partnership gets terminated. So it is, so what is a company with high proportion of raw materials component weightage in the final product may need supply partnership in order to ensure continuous and reliable supplies. So if a company has a high proportion of raw materials, okay, and the raw materials which it used for its final product have are required in a high proportion, and the component weightage is more, then they will enter into the company will enter into the supplier partnership with the suppliers, so that it makes sure it ensures the continuous reliable supply of the material. So steel manufacturing and thermal power generating industries, food product industries, they are the examples. which enter into the supplier manufacturing suppliers partnerships. Okay, and handling equipment suppliers, strategic partnership with handling equipment providers, the SC managers can also will enter into that, and logistics service provider partnerships, transport service providers. It's not only that firm get a raw materials without any disturbance. It's also important the distribution means what to call um, logistic providers who are there, making sure, ensure that your final products reach your final consumer without any interruption. So there involves the your logistics service provider, transport service providers, right? So that when that is important, then they will enter into the logistics service provider partnerships, because you have the finished product. If you are not able to deliver on time, if your order deliveries are delayed, your orders will come down, right? This we learned in our the previous chapter, right? Okay. So what are the various issues that we learned, right? Next one is warehouse provider. Yes, you have the stock, you have the orders, but if you don't have the proper warehouses to meet your to store your material, finished products or material to meet the consumption needs, it's again it will be a problem, especially in the food industries, right? So, business entities enter into the warehouse partnerships, warehouse provider partnerships, public-private partnerships. Okay. Mm, the next one is strategic alliances. What is alliance? Alliance is a relationship forged between two or more individuals or groups that works as a positive for both parties involved. Okay, make sure that so there they both agree to share the profits and losses or the liabilities, and how they are supposed to share will have an agreement. And in alliance they join for more or two or more individuals or groups work for a positive benefits of both the parties. And in the alliance the agreement between two more parties or parties in all is to forge a bond and work together, serve both sides' interest. So alliance is to work together and to serve benefit for the both the sides with the both parties' interest. Okay. Yes, for mutual benefit, they work together. Generally, a complementary business interest or goals, a business which has a complementary to each other. Say, for example, mm, yeah. So under the strategic alliances, you have various kind of alliances: joint marketing, distribution, original equipment manufacture or license or research and development, joint venture inquiry, takeover mergers. This is a low risk to minimum use of human resource, low cost. So these alliances, the main is low risk, minimum use of human resources, and to see there is a low cost. Strategic mergers. Yeah, here alliances example I told now example of alliances like chemical suppliers and pharma industries will join a line. Okay, strategic mergers. What are the strategic? You must be able to differentiate the strategic merger, partnership, and what do you call alliances. Okay. Yes. Next is yes. One second. Strategic mergers. What is mergers? Is two or more companies or corporations combine into one. They merge. Merging means they merge into one and form as a new and start working for others, right? Replace the greater part of the others. Merger is combination of multiple elements, particularly corporations, into one. Whereas absorption is what? One corporation uh, takes over the another, absorbs the one corporation absorbs the another into it. Okay, it will not have its own identity. In merger, they both form as one and come with a new name. Okay, two companies usually eliminate many duplicate jobs, cut advertising cost, and usually result in the elimination of factories. Okay, see this mergers, both the companies are there. Okay, mm, okay. So the in merger, two companies merge together and form a new, okay, and the duplication of their jobs will be eliminated, and the advertising cost will be reduced, and it leads to the profitability of the firms. Okay, and whereas in absorption, a company, one corporation takes over the another corporation, where that the second one loses its identity, right? So this again will with the aim of so this is the one kind of what you call strategic partnerships. Okay. Mm, in order to overcome the issues in the strategy supply chain. Okay, mergers outperform non-mergers as far as scale efficiency was concerned, and its merge process would lead to productivity improvements in the post-merger periods for the reasons that merged companies utilize their scale economies to improve efficiencies. Okay, while non-merger significantly became more technically innovative in order to be competitive. So, what is the advantage? Why do they get into mergers? To overcome, to enjoy the scale of large scale economies and to make mutual benefits. Okay. Next one is strategic acquisitions. What is strategic acquisition? An acquisition takes place when one company purchases most or all other of the another company's shares to gain control of that company. Okay, so acquisition. Yes, yes, I understood. The what you call you can make the differentiation between these. Okay, let me complete this. Then I'll tell her what again individually how they differ from each other. So purchasing more than 50% of the target farm stock and other assets uh, allows you to acquire, make decisions, take new assets, okay, and their shareholders approval is not without the shareholder approval. So acquisition is what? See here. The is the act of getting or receiving something or that item that was received. Okay, purchasing a house or that a company acquires control of another company either through an agreed upon deal or hostile takeover. Right? Yes. Yeah. Here I'll tell you how this what you call strategic management, sorry, partnership, strategic alliances, and acquisitions differ from each other. See, yes, I'll tell. Strategic partnership, I'll provide you this. Yes, you can get a short answer also. What is strategic partnership? What is strategic alliance, merger, okay, and a short answer. So strategic partnership is what? A long-term cooperative relationship between the two or more independent companies for mutual benefit. They work So they like manufacturers and key suppliers collaborate and involve into the strategic partnerships. Okay, this leads to supply development and also vendor management, inventory and cost reduction and quality improvement. Whereas strategic alliance is what? Strategic alliance is a formal agreement between the two or more firms to share resources. Okay, to share resources, technology, knowledge. See, if I'm good in resources, you are good in the technology, and the other company is good in a finance. So these three will join together and enjoy the competitive benefit. Okay, so sharing the resources, technology, knowledge while remaining separate entities. They'll remain separate entities only, but they share. So, like more than the partnership. In partnership, they are agreeing to share everything. Okay, they'll have a separate. Okay, but here, no equity agreement, but they'll have their defined roles and responsibilities, and time bound and project specific alliances will be there. Okay, like you can say in R&D, research and development projects. See, I invest. The scientific labs invest on research and development, and the other company will and keep alliance with the what do you call this R&D departments. Okay, the labs which are into the R&D. Okay, similarly, so what is the benefit of this? How they use it in the supply chain market? They use it in market expansion because they are alliance, they are entering into a some remaining as a separate entities, they are aligned, they are forming as alliance, like the relationship, formal agreements to share their knowledge, resources, okay, and technology and all. So this enhance their market expansion. A, B, C, all three are different in the same line of business, but they have different expertization. So instead of individually competing in the market, all three together. So my network, your network, and the other third party network, all together they are enjoying. So market and expansion will be made possible. Technology integration makes possible. And also risk sharing in the new markets regulations. Right? Coming to the strategic merger is what? Here itself only we said, the two companies combine to form as a single entity. So here, see, in alliance, they remain individual entities but share their resources. Here, they merge and form as a single entity in order to why? Why? To enjoy the economies of scale and market power and also get the strategic advantage. Right? So, um, in the mergers, generally, they will have a complete partnership. Both the companies, owners will have the complete partnerships or like benefits or a shared partial ownership that is depending on their agreements. Okay. And not only that, in the mergers, legal identity also will change because AB company formed as A and B company formed as a company C with the name of C. So the legal identity also changes. High level integration involves here in the mergers. Okay. Uh, these mergers can be formed in the supply chain may go with the horizontally. That is like a what to call here it is that like a synergy, the benefit of synergy. Okay, like the same manufacturers will merge together, or the vertical supplier and manufacturer will merge together. Instead of I buy separately from this, I search for the supplier and maintain the relationships and ensure that there are no conflicts. What I'll do, I'll merge that supplier into my firm and try to get the economies of scale and capture the market, right? So this helps the supply chain to have a control over its sources and also reduce the transaction cost, also improve the coordination, right? Coming to the you can expect, yes, what does the partnership, alliance, and mergers differ? How they differ? Coming to the strategic acquisitions, how it differs? Strategic acquisition, yes. Acquisition means one company purchasing the another company totally. So for a long-term strategy benefit or for the market expansion, generally we see this in the small unicorn startups. Okay, large companies, what they do, they come and merge, acquire that unicorns. Okay, say for example, you are a startup company, you have a good idea. Okay, and the relating to the similar product, there is a large company already existing in the business. Okay, but we came with a new idea with your startup, but you are lacking with the funds or the marketing strategy techniques. So what is the big company do? It acquire your partner, your business. Okay, acquire your business means that startup person either will sell or will take some share, join with the company. Okay, so this enables, it's a kind of long-term strategic objective. Okay, so this enables the market expansion, also supply chain control and technology access. Okay. The next one is, so acquisition is that. So what is the advantage in this collaboration? Okay. Yes, let's see. So collaboration is what more people or entities working together to achieve some common aim. Okay, they are all a little with a small variation. They differ from each other. That which you are supposed to remember. Collaboration means it's a kind of cooperative relationship. When they merge, or not, they don't merge. They stay individual entities only, but they collaborate. Means cooperate with each other in working for common benefit with a common objective. Okay. So this is in order to improve the supply chain. This we can see, especially like what I can say. Um, yes, FMCGs. If you see this, all FMCG products are supposed to get their food from the farmers. If individually if they go farmers, it is difficult. So, right, what they do, all these farmers will form as a cooperative, it is marketing cooperative, okay, and sell their products. Okay, okay, individually they're working to form as a cooperative society and selling their products through their society with a common objective to make sure that the products are sold. Similarly, at a large level, these forms will form as a collaborative. Okay, collaborations will take place different levels of the uh, supply chain, like manufacturer and supplier, or the retail and distributor will join, collaborate each other, cooperate with each other for a common achievement. Okay, or two logistic companies sharing their transportation. Okay, say for example, what do you call? Deloitte has some logistic company. Okay, XYZ logistic services. Okay, it is going well with this. And there is the one other unicorn company where it also needs the logic services. Okay, uh, but their transportation requirements are less. Instead of it go for a separate transportation company, it collaborate with this XYZ transportation company only. I got, I'll repeat once again. Transportation, logistic transportation. Say, for example, there is a company X providing logistics services, company Y also providing logistics services. So, and there are two companies, Deloitte and some startup company. Both of these companies needs the transportation. So both approach these two transportation companies. So, but what happens here? Providing transportation facility to Deloitte is a economy for the transporting company. But providing transportation individual separately for a startup company may not be economical for that transportation company. So, what they do? These two transportation companies collaborate with each other and provide commonly to these two Deloitte and startup companies. That's how they enjoy the benefits. Okay. So the next one is development of supply chain strategy. So how do they develop the sourcing strategy and distribution strategy? There involves, excuse me. So the three components of sourcing strategies: make or buy, manufacturing management, and capacity management. These are the three strategies under the sourcing. Okay. Uh, Generally, most of the companies go with the make or buy decisions in order to have a effective cost structure. Okay. The next one is yes, this sourcing strategy is a new one for the vendor relations. Okay, so cooperative relationships with the suppliers will enhance their build their good relationships and reduce helps for the reducing the cost and improving the efficiency. The next one is, yeah, you can write these entire points when you get this. What are the two different strategies? Explain. You are supposed to write only 4 points are there. The next one is distribution strategy. Yes, distribution strategy comes with regard to the linking variously, linking the supplier to the final consumer. Whatever the different networks are there, linking all these networks in the distribution involves, right? So how, what kind of strategy helps? Okay, so this because it involves a huge cost and like as we discussed in previous topic, this transportation is the most of the cost which takes place in the supply chain uh, process, right? Highest cost, right? So distribution cost forms significant portion of the total cost of the organization. So this strategy will help the organization to commit certain types of cost associated with the, means to reduce certain cost for a long-term commitment. Yes, next one is so how do they, what are the factors that they consider while selecting the distribution channel? Okay, there's various distribution channels are there and factors to be considered. Based on the channel, you are supposed to see how these factors affect your channel selection and which will give you the minimum cost with the maximum uh, um, sorry, minimum cost and minimum time is what important. Okay, directly influence the level of customer services. So because this has an influence on your customer service. Next one is distribution planning. Okay, the next so next industry inventory strategy, planning stock facilities. This inventory topic is there you can concentrate again on this. Okay, next customer service strategy. How do this? Again, is important under the strategic issues of supply chain. The another one is customer service strategy. Mm, okay, customer service strategy is important. So customer is a end user. Yeah, yeah. Till now we have seen supplier with the supplier with the distribution. So what are the issues the supply chain will have with the suppliers, with distribution, with inventory, with customer? So you have seen with the supplier, various alliances. In distribution, there are two sources, two strategies it follows, right? In distribution, it follows two strategies. With issues relating to the distribution, it follows two strategies and tries to overcome the issues. After issues, the next issue, it will, after distribution, the next issue the supply chain faces is with the inventory. So inventory related, in order to overcome the inventory related issues, it follows certain strategy like in demand forecasting, stock facilities planning, and inventory planning. These are the three strategies an organization follows in order to overcome its inventory related issues. The next, the last one, but not least, and which is more important, the next issues that the supply chain faces is customer service related issues. So how the company handles these issues and what kind of strategies it adopts. Okay, so customer service strategy is the more customer is the end user, so it is a more valuable independent entity and more valuable because the more the customer you satisfy your customer, the more your business successful, right? This I will survive. That is what we said. Customer focus means what? In supply chain, efficiency may bring the cost down, but customer focus will make brings survival to the organization. That's the reason why it is more important also. So customer service related strategy or generally service needs, understanding the service needs of the customer. Okay, what kind of services the customer is expecting. Okay, like okay, fast delivery, okay, post service, post purchase services, quality related aspects. Okay, these are the different service needs that the customer expects. Then it's service cost. So while providing this, it is cost of providing current level services and providing newly identified level of service also has to be determined by the organization. So in order to reach the determined level of customer service. Revenue management is main objective of the any organization is maximizing its profitability. So while providing the service, it is also important to see the along with the cost center, the profit centers also are supposed to identify how to break up the cost and increase its potential income with a focus on better customer service. Okay, so the three strategies relating to the customer service issues are service needs, understanding the various service requirements that the customer is expecting at various levels, and ensuring those are met. The next one is service cost. At the current level, what is the cost to provide the services and cost that is required to provide the new identified level of services have to be determined accordingly to be planned. Okay. The finally revenue management, because while providing, it is not at the cost of the sacrificing your profits, right? So it is also important. An organization must make sure provide what you call provide yes uh, right better services and maximizing the profit. Supply chain, yeah, we'll move on to. So at the four issues, four different strategies. Suppliers issues with the supplier strategies like alliances, partnerships, collaborations, mergers, acquisition, and distribution issues, source distribution and at the transportation level distribution strategies. Inventory issues with maintenance of inventory and cost, inventory management, and customer service issues with the service strategy, cost strategy, and revenue strategy. Now coming to the strategic relationships, handling systems, relationships in equipment, relationships in warehousing. Okay, that's all. So you must remember uh, at a supplier level, what are the different strategies like which is you can expect in a long answer. At the distribution level, you can expect in a short answer. Again, at a customer level, short as well as the long answers. Okay, so make sure you concentrate on this. Now, moving on to the next unit, that is supply chain customer service. Excuse me. Yes, under the customer chain customer service, because there we said now customer service is more important, and because customer is the end user, customer focusing on customer brings survival to the organization, all right. So it is more. So how the supply chain customer service involves. Okay, and what is the theories involved in that, what is focus on customer focus on supply chain, how to handle the complaints. Okay, Classifying the customer services is what we learn under this. Let's look into the topic. All business and customer-led companies characterized by an increasing strong employee focus on customers. The companies which are grown because of the customers and their satisfaction, you will find in that companies, you will find the employees who are focusing on the customers very clearly. The employee focus on customers increases, right? A strong employee training involves in focusing the customers. Okay. In what way? In understanding the key customers and satisfying the customer segments and improving their ability to customer propositions to the market and high level of employee engagement. Mostly we see this in education institutions. Okay, so okay, they will be trained like the parents are our customers, how to receive, how to handle, and identifying the key parents, key customers, right? Satisfying the customer requirements, different customer segments according to the student requirements, right? And bringing more customers to organization, to admissions. Okay, high level employee engagement, a high level of employee engagement means how employees engage in satisfying the customers. Okay, or is because most of the business entities are customer led businesses. Okay, so on the other hand, efficient led companies are, yes, there are certain companies which are characterized based on means are grown based on their efficiency. The two, one category here it is divided into two, the business entities. One entity is characterized, grown with the customer satisfaction. The other category of companies are grown based on their efficiency. Okay, in customer-led companies, you will find employee engagement, more employee, high level of employee engagement in understanding the customers and focusing on the customers and putting the efforts to satisfy the customer. Whereas in efficiency-led companies, you focus on the numbers and being lean. Okay, and less adaptive and less responsive than the customer-led forms. Okay, so their success may be low in the rate. Right. Now alignment theory. This is the one of the theories in a customer focused supply chain management. So the market, the key element, the company strategic alignment model is market and client base. Next one is organization strategy with which it responds to the market, and the organization culture that represents the competitive environment, strategy, culture, leadership. All these four, when linked to each other, then the strategic alignment can be made. So, like, yes, competitive environment, rules of the game, yes, because every organization need to stand in the competition. So it is the rule how you cannot avoid it. So strategy, how the company plans to play the game. Then culture, what is the culture of the company? Okay, capability to play that game. And finally, building the team vision to play the game. So you can write this simply like this. The next one is alignment logics. Yes. With relation to the alignment, production, administration, development, and integration. Production means action. Administration means which takes into which involves the control. Development is creating uh, anything, but creating a product, creating the customers. Okay, relationships or the integration, integrating all this involved in this. So production results means output, the objectives of goal orientation drive persistence. Administration involves control, that is brings order, it brings into order all the systems and the people involved in the organization, okay, and tries to bring into the standards, maintain the stability. And development create, that is changing the what exactly into what is required. So, okay, it creates a new product, change the raw material into change, and it creates, leads into sales, leads into customers, right? So, it involves innovation, creativity, and discontinuity. Integration, cohesion, bringing all these, bringing synergy and teamwork, cooperation, and integrating different people involved in the supply chain, right? The next one is, yes, no need. You can write. Mm. Customer focus in supply chain. So as I mentioned, what is customer focus? What is customer focus? Yes, customer focus in supply chain means strategies tries to match supply and demand, attempts to reduce the cost, simultaneously wants to improve the customer satisfaction. So an organization which is a customer focused organization, it wants to and the supply chain, it their supply chain, customer focused supply chain strategy involves matching, involves it try to match the supply and demand requirements, and also along with the reducing the cost and improving the customer satisfaction. So customer focused supply chain strategy maximizes the value to the ultimate customers of the supply chain in terms of both satisfaction with regard to the quality of the product or service, and providing a low cost. Okay, that is the reason why customer satisfaction, customer focus enhance brings the survival to the company. It's simply efficiency, it's simply reducing the cost, not it also brings the survival to the company. That is the reason why customer focused companies, customer led companies will last for a long time and make more for success than the than distribution led companies, right? Yeah, efficiency led companies. Now, so for supply chain partners work together. Okay, what is responsiveness? Means react speedy to sudden changes in demand and supply. Means there are during the festivals, demand will increase. Okay, speed will reduce. Okay, so this responsiveness helps this supply chain, customer focused supply chain helps for more responsiveness of the company. Okay, in order to cope with the demands, right? Resilience, capable of being coping adaptable with uncertain external environment. Okay, reliability. It is not only meeting the coping with the demand, supply and demand requirements, and it also ensures because present environment, present competitive market, customers see for the reliability of your products. How far I am reliable? How far a customer is reliable on your product with aspect to your what call delivery or meeting the customer demand or quality aspect, price aspect, everything, right? Service aspect. So realignment enhances customer satisfaction as well as overall performance. So supply chain partners, in particular buyers and sellers, derive competitive advantage from strong long-term relationships and empirically identify relatively more important relationship factors. Okay, so these are points you are supposed to write. Once again, I'll mention. Mm, yes, here customer focused supply chain. So, what is customer focused supply chain mean? Okay, and a supply chain network and create value for customers and organization in terms of responsiveness. So, how customer focused supply chain strategy enhances the value for customer and organization. When you get a question like this, you're supposed to write each of these. It focuses on customer chain supply, supply chain partners. Okay, and then how it focuses on response, enhances the responsiveness, enhances the resilience, enhances the reliability, enhances the realignment. All these four you are supposed to mention when you get a question. How customer chain service enhances the organizational and the customer satisfaction. Next one is complaint handling. What is complaint handling, and how a company handles its complaints? Then you are supposed to write self-explanatory. Okay, and the next one is developing, you can expect this complaint handling in a short answers. Next one is developing a customer service strategy. Yes, how a company, because we said, refers to the identifiable but many times intangible activities undertaken by a business organization. Uh, because along with the goods and services delivery, there are various activities that are involved in a company which involves with the intangible services, intangible activities, which you cannot measure in terms of money, but I'm sorry. Mhm. Go on. Right. I'm sorry. Um, we came to. Yes. Customer service strategy. How a firm develops such a customer service strategy, because it's not only with regard to the on-time delivery, quality product, it involves various other services, right? Like here, among the factors company forms customer service strategy in the context of retailing or store hours, parking access, shopper friendliness, store layout, credit access. See, if you observe presently, wherever you go, you will see the various facilities that the companies are providing you, right? So, right? Because so apart from basic goods and services or delivery, on-time deliveries, there involves various other things, right? See, look into this store hours, how long you provide the store hours, how good your parking access is there, how friendly is a shopper. You just an example. I'm not promoting. DMart you take. If you go to the DMart, you will see good accessibility of the store first, and every crowd, every high populated areas, you will find the DMarts, and parking access will be there. Okay, and also shopper friendly, like very easily the store layout will be designed, and of course, in this you may not have the credit acceptance, but okay, okay. And the level of caliber of salespeople, you will find the salespeople working. Okay, amenities like gift wrapping also will be provided, restroom availability, and when the size of the store goes high, the large, the more the size, larger the store size, you will also expect, you will also, they also provide certain amenities like washrooms, gift wrapping facilities, restrooms, water facility. Okay, and employees politeness, special orders, delivers, these all kind of facilities also, providing these all amenities also is important for the organization. Customer follow-ups. Okay, we will find these in a large size organizations, customer-led organizations. Okay. Mm, so this list not inclusive and also differs from the term value-driven approach. Okay. Taken discount versus full services. So here, that is what expected service and augmented service. So it implies to form view customer service as comprising two components: expected service and augmented service. Yes, expected services. uniform layout, store layout, shopper friendly layout uh, is enough for a store demand. But what is the augment service the customer expects from the organization? Means look for the from the organization, employee politeness, right? Gift wrappings, or accepting your uh, like delivery policies, customer follow-ups, checkouts, or certain other services also which simultaneously are part of your basic services. So this is the responsibility of the organization in providing. So here are the list of the things given. See what is expected customer service and what are argumented services. You can explain this with the example also. You also get this topic in the marketing. Okay, expected service customer who receive from the service provider. Like I gave you example. Expected service. If you visit a DMart, the expected service is proper layout of the store so that you can pick your required products quickly. Augmented services give competitive advantage, which provides you. So if a DMart provides you deliveries and okay online like online delivery or what do you call mm, home delivery systems, customer follow-ups, all these services also, this will increase the organizational success, right? So this you can give so many yes, credit for a furniture retailer who has service augmented for a particular customer. Mm. Yeah, you have been given the examples also. You can go this. Write just what it is and an example enough. The next one, planning individual services. Um, the self-explanatory. You can go customer service classification. Yes, you can expect this in a short answers. Customer service classification. Value of a service to customer. Okay. Um, Patronage builders. Who means what cost offering service value of is a what you call quadrant where you get high cost activities that are the primary factors behind customer loyalty, transaction speed, credit, registry. Okay, so high value, high cost, high value, low cost. Patronage solidifies. So low cost, little things that increase loyalty, like courtesy, referring to the customers by name and saying thank you, suggestions, selling. So low cost, but gives high value. Okay, we call that a patronage solidifies. Yes, there are certain customers who are called patronage builders. Means their activity is high cost, primary factors behind customer loyalty. High value, they are high value customers and high cost customers. Okay, called patronage builders. Low, high value but low cost customers are those patronage solidifies. They just they're like a small courtesy, low cost little things. Okay, like which increases the loyalty of such customers. Like just you're showing courtesy to the customer in receiving the customer and providing helping the customer in finding the products that he requires or calling the customer with the name and thanking the customer after completion of the service. All these are low but gives more value, high value to the organization. Disappointers like low value customer but high cost. Okay, expensive activities that do not real good. Weekday deliveries for two earner families, home economies. Cost of offering service. See here, you spend high cost, okay, but value of the customer is low. Then you'll face a disappointers. Expensive activities that do not real good, like a weekday deliveries for two earner families, home economist. Okay, like you do the deliveries, weekday deliveries and all, but if you don't meet the requirements of the customer, that you will have a low value disappointers. Okay. This cost is from the organization, the cost of offering service. In order to offer a service, what cost involves? The next basics, low cost activities that are naturally expected, but they don't build patronage, but their absence could reduce patronage. Free parking, in-store directories, as I mentioned. You actually providing parking or directions within the store. If you fail to provide these won't cost much to you. But if you fail to provide this, your customer value will be low. Okay. So for this quadrant, you can remember and you can write or present as it is. The next one is product service, customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction complaints. What is customer satisfaction? Okay. Mm, and common customer complaints. What are the common customer complaints and how you handle those complaints is what complaint handling, how you reach the customer satisfaction is what it's a self-explanatory. You can answer this. Yeah. Mm, Moving on to next unit, benchmarking of supply chain management. Excuse me. So what is benchmarking? Benchmarking is a standard with regard to uh, quality, with regard to profit, with regard to cost. So that standards will be fixed. The companies will try to meet that benchmarks. Okay, will put their efforts in meeting those benchmarks. Okay, how these benchmarks are fixed um, based on the previous experiences, industry standards, okay, and all considering all those benchmarks will be fixed. But it does not mean benchmarking means copying, means that means, ma'am, one company fixed the benchmarks you in the industry, all the other companies in that industry has to follow the same, which is that not a copying? Yes, it's not a copying the benchmarking. It's a kind of learning and adopting the standards. Okay, it's a kind of learning. Means a firm is establishing a firm in an industry is establishing certain benchmarks with regard to its service, with regard to its cost, with regard to its profit maximization, or with regard to its employees. It's establishing certain standards. Okay, putting its efforts in order to meet such standards. So where other forms are expected to learn and adopt that in order to improve their responsiveness and efficiency, right? So in simple to say, benchmarking is not copying; it is a learning and adopting. So let us understand what is importance and the scope of benchmarking, different levels of benchmarking and types of benchmarking. Okay, advantages and issues in benchmarking. So I explained this now. What is the benchmarking? Okay. So there are various definitions given. Benchmarking related continuous systematic process for evaluating the products, services, and work of organizations that are recognized as representing best practices for the purpose of organizational improvement. The best practices with relation to service, with relation to quality of product, with relation to cost, whatever it is standing apart from other organization by adopting best services, sorry, best practices that itself stands as a benchmarking or ideal for the other firms in the same industry, right? Or best practices, the methods used in work processes, the outputs of which best meet customer requirements, we can say as a benchmarking. Okay, so it is a process used by the organization to evaluate particular aspects of method within the organization by comparing their processes to the best practices within their sector. Okay, within the organization, every time whatever the process the organization adopts, put the efforts to enhance their process in terms of maximizing the customer satisfaction, in terms of maximizing the profit, in terms of minimizing the cost, in terms of maximizing customer satisfaction, okay, in terms of providing quality product, in terms of building good relationships, whatever the practices it adopts and continuously enhances its practices through certain processes and reaches certain top level performance with regard to all this, that itself stands as a benchmarking for other firms in the industry. Okay, it's a process which continuously involves in improving its activities and performance. So it can also be defined the benchmarking, the continuous process of measuring products, services, and practices against toughest competitors or those companies recognized as industry leaders. AT&T also define benchmarking as a process by which the users. So you can write any one of those, or you can give the meaning. The next one is what is to be benchmarked. Yes, what required to be benchmarked, or okay, critical areas of strategic and operational significance that influence organization performance. Hmm. So benchmarking is with respect to the activities and processes like strategic planning, decision process, accounting system, internal communication systems, manufacturing process, reward system, strategic HRM, employee training, distribution logistics, customer service. All these can be benchmarked. I already mentioned in the meaning. Okay, so you can write what is benchmarking and what can be benchmarked at these points here. Okay, and benchmarking against whom? Yes, benchmarking against whom? Benchmark could be internal within the organization first. Every time the organization tie within the with itself. Okay, say for example, you yourself writing an exam. Last time you have written one exam or one competitive exam, you scored certain marks. For example, out of 100, you scored 60. Now, next time you are benchmarking yourself to reach 80, right? And later you are benchmarking yourself to reach 90. So, within the organization, first of all. And the second thing, with a similar organization who are performing better than you. Okay, like a 60, the next time you wants to compete with the now your benchmarking is 80 now you want to compete with the top level performers to reach your 90 percentile, right? So that is a kind of perform basis for benchmarking similar activities in other divisions within the organization, internal organization, and the other divisions with performing the similar activities. Okay. Mm, against each other, branches with each other, or the departments with each other, or the similar firms in the same industry with each other. Okay, all these with the benchmarking can be against any of these, right? Importance of benchmarking. Why benchmarking is important? So it enhances your performance. It identifies the performance goals. Organization is a because of the benchmarking, what happens? You will compare your best, what are the best industry practices and where you are lagging. As I mentioned, this time you got 60. Next time you are going aim for 70 marks. So what you do? You will go with the same preparation? No, you will identify where you are lagging big. What is the gap that you are missing those 10 marks and how to improvise. So you will put your practices again. Okay, you will understand the performance gaps and will try to achieve your competitive advantage to reach your targeted marks. So same thing, benchmarking in a business helps the organization, sorry, benchmarking in business helps the organization to compare its best practices against the organizational processes. Also, it helps to identify performance gaps and helps to achieve the competitive advantage. So, this is the major importance of the benchmarking. Yes, it can be, as we mentioned, against who? Any process, approach, function, or product in the business, right? Uh, So it was looking outside a business to examine how others achieving high level performance and process the minimum success. See, if you are preparing for this exam now. Okay, what you do? Your preparation, you will see, yeah, I'll be able to score these marks. But when your friend scores more than that marks, what you will see, more than you, what you will do? You'll ask your friend, what are you doing? How are you preparing? Right? In the same way, benchmarking means first self. First, what you do? You self. Internally, you analyze yourself, you find the performance gaps, and you try to achieve your targets. The secondly, it also you also compete with your others, right? Like your friend. You want to know the strategies that he is adopting to get more marks. Same way here in the company, benchmarking involves looking outside a business to examine how others are achieving high level performance and processes they use to maintain success. Accordingly, this helps the companies to determine which of the processes and procedures could be benefit the firm for improvement and also give the high results. Okay, so performance will be consistent and will yield effective improvement over the on their improvement of their efforts and giving good returns. Yes, this is a way of discovering. So in the other way, we can say benchmarking is a discovering what is best performance and being achieved, whether in a particular company or by a competitor or by an entirely different industry. Okay, it is not necessarily within the same industry. It's not necessarily you compare your results with your friend itself who is doing the operational management diploma. You also compare your result with the someone else who is equivalently with you but doing the other course. Okay, so this helps you to discovering which is the best performance to achieve your target, achieve your goal. Okay, that can be comparison can be within a particular company or with your competitor or a totally different industry, right? So this is important. So benchmarking helps to analyze, okay, analyze or assess the company process within the organization itself, its process, approach, functions, and production, product related issues, and identify the gaps. And it also allows you to benchmarking is important to look outside the business, examine your competitors or other, okay, outside the business, how others are achieving and meeting the high level performance and where you are lacking and what are the procedures they are following. And benchmarking also helps you in discovering the best performance practices that are used by other organizations, other companies or competitors or other entities in a different industry. This enables you to adopt and learn and adopt those uh, strategies or processes effectively in order to promote your business. Next level of benchmarking is benchmarking may be of four levels: internal benchmarking, competitive benchmarking, functional benchmarking, generic benchmarking. So again, here only we said in the importance the same internal level. First, internal level, that is within the organization, comparing your own processes with the different departments or activities. Okay, and competitive benchmarking, comparing your performance with the competitor in the organization of the similar industry. Okay, functional benchmarking, comparing the performance of the same function for all those in the same sector. Functional wise, you can you can compare, establish the benchmarks for the same functions of the different firms in the same industry. Generic benchmarking, comparing functions at a generic level. This is often only approach available to government organizations. Yes, in the general, overall. Okay. Next types in internal benchmarking. Okay, benchmarking you are doing in these levels. So if it is internal benchmarking, how do we establish? Means how to measure, right? Benchmarking was measuring your performance, and so that comparing, you will know how best you can do it, and improving that performance, right, again and again. So how do you measure? What are the strategies, or what is the criteria that you adopt to establish a benchmark, right? So for internal benchmarking, there are various strategies that are involved. SWOT analysis, that is identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Best practices benchmarking, performance metrics, financial benchmarking, functional benchmarking. Okay. The next, external benchmarking at a outside the organization. Again, what strategies? Comparing. Benchmarking allows examine the areas outside the company, direct industry or sector. So how do you do? How do you do this? Many companies, the processes are efficient as follows. Generally, it is little complicated because no one tells what they are following and adapting. So when a process takes company outside of its industry or exposes them to different methods and procedures, it's only by trialing, understanding your competitor and the other is, manufacturer and distributor for electric components have internal benchmark their warehouses for number of years and exhausted. Okay, now they want to go with the outside. So they were, what did they do? They approached a successful retail company to visit their central warehouse and benchmark processes that occur there to compare their own warehouse processes. So inviting the people from outside to measure your performance. So external benchmark allowed the manufacturer of the electrical components to access the processes, retail warehouse, and develop an improvement plan for their own facilities. So what they do? External benchmarking means inviting someone from outside, some experts from the outside across the industry, within the industry or across the globe, and they will come and analyze assess your performances and give the suggestions. Collaborative benchmarking, okay, to improve the performance standards, companies belonging to a particular industry collaborate with each other or industrial associations and develop some benchmarks, and accordingly they uh, try to improvise and the unperforming companies. So collaborative means what they do. It is not only uh, growing my own self. I also, by collaborating with the other firms in the same industry, I collaborate I collaborate and see they also meet the